Enter the Dragon is a martial arts film directed by Robert Clouse. It stars Bruce Lee, John Saxon, and Jim Kelly. Unfortunately, this would be Bruce Lee's last major movie, and his breakout film in North America. At the start of the DVD we watched it on, Bruce's wife comes out and talks about how he passed away before he could see the final version of the film, which I find to be really unfortunate because I think this is a fantastic movie and I hope that it's a movie that Bruce Lee would have been proud of. I'm a fan of Bruce Lee's films. I have that DVD box set that comes with Game of Death and Game of Death 2, despite the fact that he's barely even in either of those movies, if at all. And I've watched several of his films growing up, and for some reason, Enter the Dragon always eluded me. Movies like The Big Boss, Fist of Fury, all those movies with different titles that, are more well known in different parts of the world for whichever title they went by in that part of the world. Seen all those, and I love them, especially Fist of Fury. That was one of my favorites growing up. And Final Battle in the Tower in Game of Death. The stuff that Bruce actually shot is phenomenal stuff. I love the ending of Game of Death. But for almost no reason, Enter the Dragon has always eluded me. I just never watched it, and I had opportunities to watch it throughout my life, and I just never did, and I don't know why. But I'm glad that I finally got to sit down and watch it. Long overdue, and it's completely entertaining from start to finish. I really loved it. I like how the movie's structured, introducing all of its characters in a really nice way, including the villains. I think it's paced very well. I know that some martial arts movies can be a little bit slow at times. I love martial arts movies, especially like Shaw Brothers films and Jackie Chan films. Talked about Police Story in an earlier video. But, sometimes they do start to drag at times. Some of them are great because of the phenomenal martial arts work in them, not because of the actual filmmaking. That goes for any movie. Westerns are great because of their shootouts, not because of the actual blah, blah, blah. You can say that about just about any movie of any genre, giant monster movies, slasher films, whatever. Martial art films aren't, you know, they're not immune to that sort of thing as well. They can fall into relying too heavily on their gimmick, I guess. That being said, some are some of my favorite films. The first Police Story has a lot of martial arts and is one of the best movies I've ever seen. Like I said, I love a lot of Bruce Lee's early films, a lot of Jackie Chan's early films. Clan of the White Lotus is a bombshell of a movie. Getting a little off topic. My point is that this movie is not a genre film that suffers from relying on its gimmick too heavily. It's an interesting story, coupled with phenomenal martial arts work. The final fight had me and everybody that I was watching with being like, yeah, and getting super into it. Bruce Lee is great in the film. John Saxon's great in the film. I'm a big supporter of John Saxon, and it's really nice to see him just in any movie. I love him in Nightmare on Elm Street and Wes Craven's New Nightmare, and I think he's great in this film. Jim Kelly also was really great. You might recognize him from other martial arts films like Black Belt Jones or Black Samurai. The movie is about a martial arts tournament on an island that is owned by a drug lord, and Bruce Lee is sent to the island to put an end to the operation and to restore honor to his Shaolin Temple. It's a very funny movie. It has a lot of laughs. The soundtrack is really catchy. I kind of like that combination of, martial arts, the typical music you'd hear in a martial arts film mixed with a lot of funk music. And yeah, it just gets an all-around big thumbs up from me. I'm I'm gonna give this movie a 8.5 claw hands out of 10. Thanks for watching.